G'day, folks. My name is Mark, and I run my Woodshed Music. It's an app that I am finding, well, I couldn't live without anymore. All my students use it, whether they're at school or they're at my private practice at home. It's a really great way to organize my resources, to distribute my resources, and to update them. And I think it is a good way for students to keep track too, because when they get new work, they get emailed and it's all there, whether it's the PDF or any demo videos that I've done, and the stems there if they want to play along, and various other things as well. So it's like I'm finding this really useful. I'm hoping that others will too. So I'm just going to run through it. This is super impromptu. I haven't scripted this, so going to go straight in and show you the main features. It's not going to have everything, just the main features to get you going, so you can get a feel for the app to see if this would help you or not. So the first thing to do is sign in. There's a couple of pages that I use more than others. The dashboard comes up first. It's kind of useful in a way. It shows who's active, who's practicing, and it shows if anyone has submitted any work. Not that they have to, but it's one way that students might like to be involved. So you can kind of see who you've got, and you can see who's been on the app recently. Probably the two, well, maybe the three most useful tabs would be the student tab. If you are just a teacher at home, well, not just a teacher at home, if you've only got one practice, then it's fine. You probably wouldn't need to worry about the schools. But the good thing about having a schools section is that any students that you need to group to message them as a group, then it's easier. If you need to set up classroom sessions, if you're teaching more than one student at a time, then that's fine. That can be done through schools and study groups. But otherwise, you could just add students, and you just add a student, and you just need to you can pick a level, and that helps because it shows them, scales and chords that might be relevant to them. Um, you can assign the school, you can assign the group if you want to, and the email. That's probably all you really need to do. I've tried to keep it really light, and then you would add a student. Here's one I've added before. Uh, you can view as that particular student, which is super useful. So you can do that here as well, and you can view the groups or the students. And if they've lost their link or whatever, you can just copy it and text it to them, or email it to them there as well. You can reset their PIN. Everything's based off a 6 number PIN. It's super low. Um, it's not a huge security risk really. It's just educational materials. So we've just done it on a 6 number unique PIN. You can message a student, and you can look at that and adjust their AI profile as well. And the other thing I guess you can do, um, apart from the AI stuff, which she'll come back to, it's not super useful. I don't use it all the time. There's other things I do instead, but they do have a learning profile as well, that shows them, their feedback on whether things are suited them or not. It's just extra stuff. It doesn't, necessarily use it. I do use this though, especially for this particular student, because she's an online student, and so I will join. I'll probably use my iPhone camera, which is kind of useful, and although it's running out of battery life, and I can share files, and once in the lesson, I can also minimize the lesson and search for things that I need to send them. And the other thing I can do is if we're in the lesson and I say, oh, let me just demonstrate this for you, and send you the recording, I can actually hit the record button, which, just captures that, 10, 15 seconds or whatever it is. And then that puts it into a card that then I can assign to them all on the fly and really easy to do. So I won't do that now, but just so you know, it's there. So that's the students, and you can view students according to school. You can view them as according to group. You can just look at them individually. You can search for them if you want to. Let me just clear all those filters and just search for me. And there I am. I haven't done much. Look. So that's cool. Next, we have the library, and this is probably where the bulk of your work will be. You can collapse all and expand all, and this is literally every little piece of learning that I want to give to a student, I put into the library. And it can be sort of listed as categories. It doesn't have to be, but you can do that if you want to. You can look at the items as a list. You can search for them. If I wanted to search for something, and then you can expand it. And each card has its own sort of uniqueness about it, I suppose. Um, Another thing I should probably mention is that grab a cuppa is a good thing to do at the beginning of the day, because it just preloads everything. It will preload everything on the library just in case you've got the internet isn't so good, especially at schools. Uh, it only takes you know seconds, if not minutes. It's like a really good way of not to be buffering in the class. I find that super useful. Uh, we'll come back to this, but just looking at the cards, this is a track that I have stems for, and so I can solo particular parts. If I want to listen to the piano part, I can solo it. I can mute it as well. I can get rid of it, and I can loop it. So I can start a loop here. You might not hear this because of the recording, but I can pause that loop and go back to that loop. And I can also slow down the speed, and I can also transpose it. So it's a really good way of students trying to get on top of a particular passage that is sort of given that loop. They practice it. They're aware of the loops. They can go home and set up a loop for themselves, which persists. So if they come back to it, that loop will exist. So if they're working on it, then they can, have a break and go out of the app and they come back in. It's pretty easy. There is the stems. There's any other URL, which is kind of useful. There's a record video section. I'll come back to that in a sec. This is all for the teacher end. So if you want to add a PDF or whatever, you can just drag it and drop it here. If it's a JPEG, it will convert it to a PDF. You just need to drag it there. If you want to replace the stems, if you want to look for cover art. Um, this is another way of good, you know, uh, just making it slightly nicer. Really, I haven't done that with that, so let's do that. Let's find the cover art. Girls Veins. It's my band, so I can't spell it properly, but never mind. Search for us, and that's our album, and that's the song. And now the cover art's there. Not that it has to be, but it's just kind of nice to have something unique, I suppose. Um, if there are PDFs, and there is a PDF in this particular case. This is the chart that I recorded recorded when I was recording the album, and students might want to play it. There's a couple of things which are kind of useful. The student might have access, might have questions about parts of it, so you can use like a note. You can make notes if you want to, and that gets sent, saved to the card. Uh, it's just for feedback, I suppose. And another thing which is really useful, I think it's really useful, is the trim feature. So it's a bit of a bugbear, I suppose, when I've had charts given to me and they've got everything on them. They've got 20, they've got bass and treble, and you don't always need that. Sometimes you just want one stave, and this is a way of doing that, and it's called the trim sheet music. So you just basically drag the staves that you want. I mean, I'm just doing this as a demo. Say if I wanted to make those bigger. If I only wanted every other line, I don't know why I would want that, but there you go. Just making it nice. And I might want to save to a card. So what it's going to do, it's going to create a new file with just those staves in it. So it's super useful if you're just trying to get the students to focus on a little bit, or if you just want to compress a PDF. So a couple of things which are not perfect. This is a developing app, but it's a way. I find that really, really useful in my own practice as well. You can add lessons. I wouldn't suggest playing with that to start with. I don't use it particularly a lot, but I do use this all the time. I actually use both of these all the time. One is the backing track. If I make this a backing track, then it will appear in the student's backing track area, and I'll come back to that in a sec. And if I want to assign it to a student, then I just go to Quick Assign. So if I wanted to assign that to me, I can either choose to create a new assignment and name it, or I can add it as a step in an existing assignment. So that's basically the library. And you can list by assignments as well. So if I wanted to list, it's not a lot on here, but there's one element here, and it's like a video to watch, and I can unpublish that. I can retract it from them. I can resend an email saying, "Look, watch this." I can view as a student, and I can edit it if I wanted to add or and delete what's there. There is the AI thing is kind of useful. Again, I've just been I see this as an augmentation tool, and I haven't found. Well, I'll show it to you in a sec. Um, there's an admin section where you can adjust the scales and chords which exist on each section, and that's my admin page. I can view as teachers, I can view as students. But let's go back to the library section, because there's some useful features here, and I use this all the time as well. So you're in a lesson, they said, "Oh, look, I really want to learn um, a certain thing," and you know that you've got a YouTube clip somewhere uh, that demonstrates this really well, or you've got a video of your own which demonstrates something in particular. So you can basically upload anything. You can upload a video, you can upload an audio, you can upload a JPEG and it will convert it into a PDF. You can upload a PDF. You can link YouTube clips. So you know, and you can multi-page this. So you don't have to. So it's really, if I don't know, if I chose another Goldsmith Baines. Bear with me, my typing is not great. Uh, and I chose videos. Maybe there's something in there I want to show my students. Maybe not. Oh, look, here's the video. So I can just, okay, cool. So I'm just going to go back. I've copied that. I'm just going to paste that in there, and I'm going to import the link. Add title. I'm just going to get it to title it. And it's just refining that. There you go. It's added that. Nothing more I need to add really. So it's basically gonna create this card that exists now, as you can see. I could hit the request stems button. There's two ways of doing that, but basically, if you hit the request stems button, within a few hours you'll get back the stems that then you can play, like the drum part or the bass part, or whatever. And you're a teacher, so you might want to add the PDF. You might want to add a bunch of other stuff as we've talked about. But also, you might want to do this. So this is just recording in a video, and this is in the lesson. This is what I kind of, as I said, I use all the time. So I'm saying, okay, well, what is this groove, and how do I play it? And I might just need to demonstrate something. So I'd hit the record. I'm showing the basic groove, etc. I need better lighting, that's fine. And I hit stop, and I upload and attach it. Nobody likes to hear themselves. So there, AI is describing that file and saving it in a good way, and it's there now for them to see. And I can go, okay, well, that's your class for this week. I want you to work on that. So I'd assign it to my student. I'd call it a new assignment. I'd call it probably tell you who practice with Groove. Probably don't want that. And there you have it. So that's from the teacher's side. So you basically build the library as you go along. So that if you're that kind of person, that's super useful. It's super useful for me. So I'm slowly building whatever it is. And it might be a scale. It might be just like a chord sequence that they're into. It might be like a whole track. And if I think it's going to be useful, then I'll request and build the stems like I have done here. So and I'll check on the PDF. I might be able to, if I need to find a PDF. Sometimes it's a bit easier if I can just do it here. So one button will actually do a search just in case there is a PDF lying around the internet that people are using. You can edit it. You can have you can have a YouTube clip. You can refine it. That's the other thing. So if you want to say uh, uh, talk about the listen to make sure you listen to the drum track on its own, is quite surprising. And then hopefully that you don't have to do that. You could just type it yourself. It's not supposed to be. It's it just writes a little bit about the track. Say you've got you've got that loop, you've got the speed, everything's there. So I guess I just need to go and look at it from the actually. Let's do it. You could look at it from the student point of view. Let's just show you that. Which you type in your pin and then you're a student. That's fine. Um, I don't use that much. I tend to go in and I would go, okay, students. I might go Mark, which is me, and I might just go view as. So then I'm looking at myself as a student. There's the Twihu practice. It's already there. If I want to record my practice, I can do that. If I want to upload a recording of me playing it to the teacher, there's also me. I can do that. If I want to add video or audio, it's all pretty explanatory, really. And if I want to finish a step, it'll ask me as a student how I found the assessment, and that's kind of semi-useful if you're that kind of person. But you don't have to use any of that. It's really just for organizing your practice for the week. So yeah, that's basically the assignment that I've just created. There's the video that I've just created. Another, I'm not sure this. So we're good to go. So we go through and do that practice. We can. There's a couple of features as well, which I haven't mentioned. One is a musical toolbox. That's for your basic uh, Groove Machine. It's not completed, but I've tried to have it include an authentic sort of feel slider, which sort of moves things around. And I've got Latin. I'm into Latin music, so I've got Latin feels there, but I'll be adding to those as we go along. If you need a chord reference, if you can't remember how to play that dominant seventh chord, or you just want to be sure, you can just look it up. There's a scale reference, the same sort of thing. And again, these are coming from your level, I suppose. So there's a piano if you need to play that, and there's backing tracks. And this is where if I make a particular card a backing track, this is where it would appear. So that's something to bear in mind. There's ear training, intervals, progressions though as well. Jazz and contemporary progressions. I'm trying to make them. I'm going to add to these, but I am trying to make them, you know, more than just the basics. I'm trying to choose tunes that have particular famous chord progressions, and it's great for the other students to be able to get familiar with those chord sequences and hear what they sound like as well. There's a chord and chord progression drill, which is kind of built by one of my students. Actually, he really wanted the random chords and he really wanted to go through and drill himself on a progression, a particular key, either diatonic or non-diatonic. And theory trainers, and practice log. Again, there's stuff you don't have to use, but it's there if you want it. iReal Pro, it helps if you're looking for a PDF. You can use that. So there's a bunch of things, and I'll probably be adding to those later. And also the profile. So you can talk about whether you like light practice or lots, whether you like to practice one big thing or a lot of small things. It's useful for the AI. It does get to know you over time. Uh, and I will get to know. Um, yeah, this is a very young app, so I'll gradually get to know what people want as well. So that's basically it. It's everything's there. If you want to go into practice, you go into your practice.